Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm super excited that you're here and that we are going to have our first session together. I'm very excited. We are going to be doing some very personal questions, and they may be uncomfortable. Some people get uncomfortable, some don't. But these questions will definitely make you think. And the reason that we're doing this is just so I can get a general idea of how you think, process things, and just kind of what your normal life looks like and your morals, values, things like that. This is going to be where the papers are that contain the questions. There's going to be 12 questions, so it's not extremely invasive. I won't take all the time out of your day. We're just gonna go over them. I'll give you some few minutes to process and come up with your answers. So let's go ahead and take this out. Two pages and 12 questions. Put this away. You will notice that I will probably be doing a combination of both writing and possibly typing. Just depends on how in-depth your answers are, if there's any key things that you say that I want to write down in the notes. That's what I'll be doing. So let me get everything set up and we'll go ahead and get started. Does that sound okay? Alright, just make yourself comfortable. Have a seat. Just basically relax and enjoy your time here. You are in a completely safe and judgment-free zone. So just answer these questions to the best of your, not just ability, but as truthful as possible. Be real with yourself so that you can really get the best results from our sessions, and really just so you can think deep. That's what this is all about. So let's go ahead. I'll show you. Look how beautifully color scheme these are. We have the first 7 on here and the remaining 5 on the second page. Let me get some notes opened up here very quickly. And I'm just marking what day it is and that we are beginning your session now. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to sharpen my pencil very quickly. There we go. I like a nice fine point. Sometimes I overdo it and it gets snapped off in here and it's just, it's the worst. So we got a perfect point and we are ready to begin with question number 1. That is going to be the question of, are you living a meaningful life? Take your time, think about it. Are you living a meaningful life? Try to give me more than just yes or no. If you say yes, explain to me, why do you think your life is meaningful? If you think no, tell me why. Okay. And you can just keep talking while I'm writing. I'm listening, just jotting a couple of things down. Okay, very nice. That sounds like a very good answer. So yeah, that's all you gotta do. I'm gonna ask the questions they're all going to be very, very different. But basically, just like how you just did, tell me what comes to mind and just answer them the best you can. And I feel like you did very, very well with the first question. So thank you. And just hang in there just like that, and we'll be through these questions in no time, okay? Alright, perfect. If there's any that are a little bit, some people do get a little bit emotional sometimes because they can be a bit triggering or make you think kind of deep about something that might be painful or might make you feel a big wave of emotion. So if at any point you feel like that with any of these questions, just say, I need a second, and we will pause. I will wait for you until you are ready. There's no rush. Okay, so the next question is going to be, what is the one thing that you cannot live without? Just one thing if you had to pick. I'll give you a second. Most people, it takes them a little while to think of this one. Some people know right off the bat. But what is the one thing that you cannot live without? Okay, that is very interesting. All right. And what's the reasoning behind that? Why does that object hold so much value in your life that you feel as though you couldn't live without it? Okay. Yes, I can understand that. Okay, we got that. Give me just one moment here. I'm just going to type something out. Are you doing okay? All right, wonderful. And then just as we, of course, finished question number 2, can you tell me if you're feeling any increased anxiety, depression? Do you feel fidgety at all? Or do you just feel nice and calm and relaxed? Okay. I'm going to ask you that more than once throughout these questions. And that is just to gauge the emotional and physical response that you may be having to these questions. Simply, that's all. Okay, let's now move along to question number 3. That question is going to be, what makes you feel most empowered? Could be anything, but what is it that makes you feel most empowered? Okay. And would you say that it's easy for you to be able to achieve that feeling? You think so? It can depend on many things. Yes, depends on the day. Maybe you just wake up and you're not feeling the best some days. That happens too. So, as long as you know that there is something that makes you feel empowered and you can go get that, that's great. Okay, love that. This next question, just think about it before you answer. Some people really don't realize until I ask them this. But do you live to work or do you work to live? Do you live to work or work to live? What would you say? Take your time, there's no rush. You just let me know when you decide. I would say some people live to work. They love going to work. They love waking up and going to their job. Maybe that's something that they've always wanted to do, or it's their dream job. Whereas you have other people who work to live. They're working many hours. They're just really kind of being torn down at their job, and they're just working all the time to get by. Maybe they don't have much room for lenience for spending. They might be just working simply to live and pay bills. So would you say you enjoy your work? Would you say that you just have to work to get by? Or how do you look at your work? Okay, very nice. Very, very nice. Do you find that your work gets you very stressed out? Do you enjoy going? Do you like being there? Do you get increased anxiety at work or school? Okay, sounds good. Of course, everything is circumstantial for sure, so I'm just saying as a general idea. Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna type something and I will get right back to you for question number 5. Okay, you ready? Feeling okay? Alright, perfect. Let's move on. Question number 5 is going to be, do you trust anyone with your life? Is there anyone who has achieved that spot in your life where you could truthfully say that you trust them with your life? That is a very big statement, yes. So that's why I'm wondering if there is someone or more than one person in your life who you do feel that strongly about for trust. Okay, and if you think that there's not, what would be the reason that you feel like nobody has gained that spot? Would it be because you feel a bit more reserved and you feel like only you can take care of yourself? Or do you think maybe you just haven't met someone yet who could be that substantial for you? There's no right or wrong answer, just simply generalized idea. Okay, absolutely. So, would you say then that even if there is not somebody in this current moment whom you would say you trust with your life, would you say that you, how do I want to put this? Would you say that you would allow someone, or you would like to have that feeling with someone, perhaps the right person? Okay, sure. That is a very, very, very high level of trust, and some people are not capable of such a thing. So that's why this question's a little important. Okay, thank you so much. Let's go on to question number 6. This question is, based on your opinion, which do you think is more important? What you say or how you say it? Which is more important, what you say or how you say it? Okay. Absolutely. And then I would like to know, just kind of expanding off of that, what is the reason behind that choice over the other? Why would you say that how you say it is more important than what you say? So what I'm hearing you say is it sounds like to you, it's more important that you get your point across and you say what needs to be said, but you take into consideration the other person's feelings. And that's why you think it's important on how you say something with the certain attitude and body language. Okay, yeah, sounds good. I am 100% with you on that. It's always good to be cautious and aware of other people's feelings. To me, that's something that's very important. To some, it might not be important. We're all different. Okay. And let me go ahead and ask you here as we are coming to question number 7. How are you feeling? Anxiety, depression, anything like that? Do you feel neutral and okay? Okay. Great. Okay, let's go on to the next question. So, question 7, this may be extremely hard to answer. I have seen both circumstances where I've asked this question. Some people can answer it easy peasy, I know exactly what the answer is. And other people say, I have no idea how to answer that. So let's see how you do, okay? Question number 7 is, what is something that you are certain you will never experience? What is something, could be anything, but what is something you are certain you'll never experience? Okay, well, that is an interesting way to look at it. And why would you say that you would never experience that? Do you think there's physical limitations? What are the limitations that you would say it completely excludes you from ever being able to be in this experience? What would you say? Sorry, I know it is a bit confusing. Okay, let me set this down. So, since you have your scenario, you know what it is that you won't experience it. So, for example, let's say that mine would say, I would say, I will never be able to experience what it's like to step on the surface of Jupiter, right? And the reason for that, I would say, is because physically we cannot live on Jupiter as of this moment right now, and probably anywhere in my lifetime we won't be able to. So my reason is a physical limitation that stops me because physically I cannot be on the surface of Jupiter. So what is your reason why you cannot experience that? Okay. See? Perfect. Sorry. Sometimes you just have to word it a little bit different so you can understand. And especially when you're not looking at the question hands-on, the words can get like jumbled up in your head and you're just like, wait, what'd she say? I totally have the same moments all the time. Alright. Great. We are done with the first page. So now we will take that and put it to the side. And I'm going to be reviewing these answers later, as well as my notes that I take from everything we talk about. Okay. Here we are coming up on question number 8. And that is simply going to be the question of... Give me just 1 second. That is going to be the question of... What do you think your worst trait is? What is your worst trait? Some people call them characteristics as well, but your worst trait, what would you have to say that is? Okay. All right. Well, I can understand that. Sometimes, even though there might be traits that we don't like that we have, or characteristics that we wish we didn't have, we have to be real with ourselves, and we do have it. So when we know what it is that maybe we don't like, or maybe we think is the worst thing about us, it's good to admit, because then we can work on it and change it, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's okay to have worse traits. It is totally okay. It's good. It's healthy. Next question. Number 9. This one might be hard, and some people get a little bit emotional, so let's just take it slow. But when in your life have you been humbled? Maybe something was going really, really well, life's going great, you're on top of the world, and then boom, something substantial, traumatic, just terrible happens, and you feel very humbled. Maybe even you feel like you're back to square one. But what would you say? When in your life have you been humbled? Take your time. Just let me know when you're ready. Okay. I am all ears. I'm listening. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, I can see why you feel as though that definitely humbled you. I do want to apologize because it sounds like that was a very hurtful situation. So, it is good that you acknowledge it as being something that humbled you. But do know that, that is still very unfortunate. And I'm sorry that that happened to you. Yeah, absolutely. Alright, as we are coming to question number 10, how do you feel? I know that last one might have been a little bit difficult. Are you still feeling okay? Okay, perfect. Let me just write that down. Glad that you're doing okay. Very, very glad. Okay. Let's go to question number 10. That is going to be the question of, what are you most determined to do in your life? Is there something that you say, I have to do this by the time I'm old, or I have to do this in my life? What is that going to be? Could be anything, whatever comes to mind. There's no right or wrong answer. Wow, I've not heard that one before. That is awesome. How long do you think it would take you to do that? Wow. I'm writing that down because that is crazy. And that would be a huge accomplishment. So I wish you luck with that. I hope you are able to do that in your lifetime. That would be really, really cool. Okay. We have 2 more questions left. Question number 11 is going to be, how do you feel about getting older? Is old age something that scares you? If you feel negatively about getting older, why? If you feel positively about getting older, again, why? How do you feel and why about getting older? Okay, And would you say that any negative feelings you have, such as fear, would you say that it is because of physical limitations? For example, we're getting older, our bodies don't work the same, maybe things get sore, sometimes people get sick. Would you say it's more physical or mental? Maybe you're afraid of Alzheimer's or something that happens to the body that we can't control. Cognitive wise, we have dementia, we have a lot of horrible, horrible things. But would you say it's more physical or more mental? Okay. Well, it is good that you recognize that, because again, if there's certain things that we fear, I'm not saying that it's a debilitating fear of yours or anything, but when we know what makes us uncomfortable or things that we fear in anticipation, we can kind of get over that by working at it, understanding why we're afraid, and that can help a lot. Finally, we are at question number 12, and this question is, do you believe in life after death? Whether that be heaven and hell or something else, but do you think that there is life after death, or do you think that we just kind of go into the ground, or maybe you're just cremated, wherever you be, but maybe you die, everything just goes black, and that's it? Or do you think there's something more? Okay. We will never know, will we? Well, we'll know. Well, we won't be able to tell each other. And what gives you that belief? What makes you say that? Just kind of always felt that way. Okay. It could just be exactly what you think. It doesn't have to be religious at all. Like you said, could just be that's how you feel. And that's what you've always thought, so that's what you're rolling with, right? Okay. Well, wonderful. That concludes our questioning. Let me ask you one more time. Do you feel okay? Okay. Well, what that means is we are done. That's going to conclude our first session together. I wish it was longer. I wish you could stay here forever. I'm really enjoying your company. But what I'm going to do is take a look at your notes and go over them, go over how you answered everything, as well as the notes that I took in my computer. And that's going to give me a general idea of who you are. So then for our next session, we'll do more activities. I kind of do my work by doing different types of activities in sessions like these. I find that people enjoy it more than just sitting down and kind of being bored sometimes, So I hope that it felt interactive for you. I hope you enjoyed it, even though it can be a little bit hard and difficult on some questions. But you did fantastic. So thank you so, so much. And then how about I will either call or email you? Does that sound okay? Yeah, then we'll get you set up for another session, okay? Alright, well, you take care. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll be talking to you soon, okay? Alright, bye.